Got Lon Philip Sullivan on the line talking LSU football. We go nonstop here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Yes, there are no games being played, only one left. But man, it's going to be a busy offseason with this NFL draft as always. But then you got the transfer portal on top of it. And at last count, I think that thing's eclipsed 600. I saw Chris Curry enter his name. And the one that most people are talking about would be 5-star tight end there, Eric Gilbert.
Yes, a lot of ins, a lot of outs. Chris Curry, we reported that back on December 17th. I don't know if that was first. I don't know who, but we reported that on December 17th on our site that Curry would be going. We also reported that quarterback TJ Finley was definitely 1 foot, 1.5 feet out the door. That is still yet to play out. That is still yet to be confirmed. He could completely change his mind. But what we heard was almost guaranteed that he would be transferring as well. We also have a few yet to decide offensive linemen, 2 offensive tackles, Austin Deculus and Dari Rosenthal. We do have some outs to the NFL with Zach Von Rosenberg, the legendary punter. Von Wilder, he finally leaves to LSU, and what a legacy he has. Jabril Cox, after 1 year, goes to the NFL. You know, I'm fine with him using LSU as a stepping stone. He was a fantastic linebacker. He was everything the hype, played out to be. I told you he would have some pick sixes and some interceptions, and it turned out that way. He was fantastic in the SEC during his one season. I just wish some of his surrounding talent would have been a little bit better for him. But there's a lot of just a great job from Coach Orgeron to get a bunch of trenchmen to return, a bunch of experienced trenchmen to return to kind of show these younger 2021 guys the way. You got Glenn Logan, Neil Farrell, Andre Anthony on the D-line coming back. That's 7 sacks. That's just a little over a quarter of LSU's overall sack total from last year. So while they are experienced, they are also effective. Andre Anthony had 5.5 of those. And then you got some experienced offensive linemen coming back, some national championship heroes. Ed Ingram, I thought for sure he was out the door. He changed his mind. He's coming back. That was fantastic. A huge get. On the same day, Tristan Lee goes to Clemson. Ed Ingram comes back. Fantastic job there. Liam Shanahan at center. Chasen Hines at guard. We did lose some guys. Chris Curry, he's out the door as well. But we've replaced that with some great running backs coming in. Corey Kiner, Armani Goodwin from the 2020 class. But then you also got these starters from the 2019 class. You got Ty Davis-Price, who's just primed for a Clyde Edwards-Helaire type season. You got John Emery, who could do the same. He's fantastic. You also got 2020 freshman Kevontre Bradford, who caught a brilliant touchdown on 4th down against Florida. Used kind of as a pass-catching back, a very huge speedster out of Texas. I really like Kevontre Bradford. But, there's been some whispers about who could be transferring as well, who could be eligible to transfer along with Eric Gilbert. We've heard a few whispers here and there that we will not report on right now because there's no real point in doing that. These are kids trying to make their minds, trying to choose where they want to go, and we're not going to force that.
Lon Philip Sullivan, LSU Odyssey. You got to join him there, the rest of the crew, breaking down the Bayou Bengals on a daily basis. And don't want to miss anything here, Lon. Is there anything that I've yet to hit upon that we need to tackle?
Well, it's going to be an absolute all-out transfer war there. I mean, there's definitely big-time whispers. There's some big-time names at LSU that could be in, could be out, and we've been hearing it. It's kind of who knows at this point with certain guys, but at the same time, LSU has continued to pull off everything to fill those spots. And some of the names for the 2021 class that LSU is going to try and finish off here, Dante Balfour, this cornerback that my buddy Adrian turned me on to. He showed me this guy, this corner out of Florida, Bradford High, unbelievable talent, fits the 6'2" minimum mold for Corey Raymond's corners, a brilliant length, towering type of corner. huge speed, versatility as well, and he's a big friend with Demarius McGay, who signed with LSU. So there's some connections and some ties there. Harvard offensive lineman Eric Wilson, a buddy of former Harvard, current LSU center Liam Shanahan. I expect Eric Wilson to be coming to LSU imminently. But yeah, there's a bunch of different happenings going on at LSU. Jake Pete's coming in. I mean, it's very interesting. People are wondering if these hires are were these quick trigger trigger finger hires, but I don't believe that. I believe that Coach Orgeron went for someone who conceptually wanted to go back to that Joe Brady style of flashy offense. And hey, we put up a lot of yards and stuff like that, but we got away from the balance from the running game. And both of these guys have innate successful running back coaching knowledge. Jake Peets, he was the running backs coach when Christian McCaffrey led the NFL in receptions, all-purpose yards, and touchdowns. So he's proven successful right there with the rise of Christian McCaffrey. I'm sure that has a lot to do with the talent, but it's also a lot to do with maximizing that talent. He had a lot to do with that. DJ Mangus also coached running backs as well at William & Mary. He was a receiver at William & Mary. He has innate wide receiving knowledge because of his time with Joe Brady, because of his time playing for William & Mary's. So these guys kind of have all-around offensive knowledge. Jake Peets, he was an Alabama offensive analyst for 2 different stints. He was around with Tua Tagovailoa for the 2018 title game. So he's got some title game experience as well as a coach, as an assistant. And he was a quarterback's coach when Derek Carr went to the Pro Bowl for Oakland. So it's interesting. These are the 2 biggest hires, though, of Coach Orgeron's tenure. And, I should say 3 with DJ Mangus, Jake Peets, and now potentially Marcus Freeman, hopefully Marcus Freeman. These are very, very important. I think the Marcus Freeman one, that's a slam dunk. The offensive coordinators, that's just going to be interesting to see how these guys will. But at the same time, they're hungrier than a Bo Pelini hire. They're hungrier than a Scott Linehan hire. And I will always, take my chances with that, Mark, over some type of just washed up, give me some pandemic retirement money type of hire. And these guys are, they're young guns, 37, 30. Mangus will be turning 32 in February. But I'm down with it. I'll roll with Coach Orgeron. I believe in his hires. It was a quick hire, though, the quick interview process. But as my buddies at One Team, One Podcast first broke when they said Jake Peets and DJ Mangus were the targets, it looked like when Brady said these are the guys, they went with that.
So, Lon, for the dyed-in-the-wool LSU fan who bleeds purple and yellow, do they root for Alabama and stay along SEC allegiance lines, or root for Ohio State in this national championship game?
Purple and gold.
Purple and gold. My apologies.
No, you're fine, Mark. You're fine. You're fine, brother.
More yellow to me than gold, but
it can look very yellow at times. You're right there. I love when it's actually gold looking though. Some of those cool custom jerseys they do, those look really sick.
Yes,
but as you said, we are all in for Ohio State on this one. All in for Ohio State. You gotta beat Bama in the title game. I mean, this is war here. Alabama, this is a team that wants to try and compare themselves to 2019 LSU, and it's up to Ohio State to stop it. It's up to Ryan Day and Ohio State to, they proved their CFP credibility with the last game. They shut up a lot of people, including me, who said they didn't belong. And I said, in the end, they may as well get in there to just to prove that they belong, just to give that team a shot because they are so talented, because they have Justin Fields. Let's see what Ohio State can do, and if they are pretenders, we'll find out. They weren't. Justin Fields took it right in the ribs. He still withstood that. It was brilliant, and he took it right to Clemson. Unbelievable poise, unbelievable character from that young man. I hope my Washington football team draft him. I mean, he's great. But actually, you know what? We're all in for Ohio State here, Mark. You got to beat Bama. Just take them down to Chinatown and just put them in the ground, Mark.
Why the Washington football team? Where did that start?
My dad betted on them during his time in Vietnam, and he won. And when he won that bet, he was like, you know what? All right, I'm going to stick with this team. And yeah, it turns out we actually have family connections there too later that were unconnected from that as well. So yeah,
That Washington football team that snuck into the playoffs with a Sunday night win.
The least deserving playoff team of all time. But you know what? If that defensive line can destroy Brady, Alex Smith will take his shots. But watch out for Devin White, former LSU Tiger for Tampa Bay. He's scary, man, and he can make Alex Smith. He can force him into some horrible errant throws, I believe. So probably one and done in the playoffs, but we'll see. We'll see. They could go on a run.
Well, Lon, between the transfer portal and you always are on the fast track with these commitments and these announcements of when the commitments will happen, stay in touch with us because we're going to need you throughout the off season here.
Yeah, we were had by Tristan Lee there, but that's what happens when you believe one source too much. And I learned a valuable lesson from that. It was a valuable lesson for me to learn, and I've everything's good now. I think I've got a good handle on it. It's just a Wild West atmosphere though, Mark, and it's getting crazier by the day, crazier by the second. But hey, the players are getting even better. The 2022 class is very exciting as well. There's some great offensive line talent from 2022 class here in Louisiana. They're just fantastic.
Well, Lon, don't try to hold yourself too accountable to trying to predict what 18-year-olds are going to decide.
Great point, and great advice that I will take absolutely.
Lon, we appreciate you stopping by. Everybody check out lsuodyssey.com with Lon and the rest of the staff there.
We just did an interview with Coach Robert Valdez of St. James High about Savion Jones and the 2019 undefeated team that he had. It's a brilliant piece. We actually got a great review from Savion Jones's mother. She said it put her to tears. The words Coach Valdez was saying about her son. It's a great piece. So it was a great interview to do with him. He's a great coach. Love that guy.
Lon, we appreciate you stopping by. You have yourself a good night.
Hey, you too, Mark. Go Tigers.